So I came across this on Facebook. The title, The People of Kilcohen have launched an urgent crowdfunding appeal to save their village after it's lost its only shop, post office and petrol station last year. Now think about that. That's just one part of... Is it Argyll and Butte? I mean, yeah, I think it is. Because they changed things about in the last decade or two, or maybe more, as regards boundaries, etc. But it's a village. Well, basically there, right? And it's obviously a wee bit of a trek. There's no two doubts about it. It's a wee bit of a trek. Have I reconnoitred that particular area? No. But I'm fairly confident pretty much most places in Scotland actually, are just so undersold, it's outrageous. It truly is. Because it never used to be a thing that, so many... I mean, remember, the reason why these villages have lasted as long as they have is because of, some common sense management and having enough of a village or place that people would want to come there and spend money. That's why they survived up till now. But as I've said in videos over the last few years, when I look at places like Argyll now, and I look at it, I absolutely look at it all, and I think about the ferries that are, we've got so many problems out, and you could think of so many things that actually, you take that step back and it's a rollout of Agenda 21. Yeah. I mean, we are absolutely being replaced. And at the same time, they're saying, look, for sustainability, we need to have diversity. But what they've done before all that is to really fuck up these places. Really. Yeah. I mean, I keep thinking of, for example, it's one of the main arteries in Argyll. Yeah. Which is this thing called Rest and Be Thankful, right? And where are we? I think it would be roughly about, where am I? I think it must be about here. I'm sure it is. Honestly, it's like, it's this road up to a point, and that then takes you across to places like Inverary, which then gives you the option to go that way up to Oban, for example, or head up to Tyndrum and, Pitlochry, Bridge of Orkney and Fort William, etc. Or, you can go another direction and you can head over to places like Lochgilphead, Crinan, Crouphaven, Comelford. And then, of course, you've got the south side of Loch Awe, you've got Port Sonahan, Cladich, from memory, I think another place, what was it called, Ford. These were all pretty successful places in the 80s. A lot of people would come up because the scenery is astounding, yeah. Although I will say I have noticed less purple hills, etc. But, when they're chemtrail in the skies, that's got to have an effect over time. But, that was always seen as a well-to-do place, for example, Inverary. And remember, I'm sure in the last year or so, I pointed out that, the Inverary, the George Hotel in Inverary, which had been in this particular family, something like at least 7 generations, or it could be a lot more than that, I have no idea, but they had to sell up. And it's been bought over by somebody. How successful that's going to be, I don't know. I honestly don't know. But a lot of places that used to be a lot more popular are just dying on their feet. And this is terrible because it's some of the most stunning scenery, I can assure you. How the hell do you reckon these places were so successful up until, well, I would argue, last couple of decades, look, a slow decline, I could see it, absolutely. And I thought to myself at the time, what are they doing? But, going back down to places like previous to Inverary. There's some that honestly, there's some road, right, and I think it's this one, but one side of it, right, it's notorious apparently for rockfalls. And although they've had this issue for quite literally decades, they've never been able to truly address it. And they keep shutting it down and all the rest of it. And oh, look, it's Scots, all that's changed. But it's things like that that will fuck these places up. And I'm telling you, I'm sure, from memory, certainly in the last few months, right, I'm sure I saw like the local hotel for this one. I'm sure this one was up for sale. I could be wrong. No, I'm not wrong. It was certainly up for sale in the last year. It may still be up for sale. Because you see, the thing is, when it's slowly but surely being strangled, slowly but surely, while masquerading as the righteous, and don't you worry, it's all about communities and sustainability and all the rest of it. I think of so many bloody places that used to be quite popular. And they're shut. Lord of the Isles. Haven. Look, Haven is far from my memory, always seemed to be, the actual marina went through various owners, whatever else, blah, blah, blah. But the actual Lord of the Isles pub, that used to be quite successful again. Yeah? And you just see all those places slowly but surely being strangled. Yeah? And then, as I said, think of the islands. Good God, if that's what they're suffering on the mainland. Have a wee peruse around certain islands off the west coast of Scotland and look at property prices and how long they've been up for sale. This never used to be a thing. And some genius comes up with, maybe ask the second homeowners to contribute. They are responsible for this. Are they? Really, are they? They can't be really when you think about it, because they're no longer allowed to do so unless they want to pay 200% more for the council tax on that place. And they've demonised anybody for Airbnb-ing it or rentals or whatever else. So it's, seriously. Then add to the cost of energy in areas like that, because good luck with getting mains gas, etc. Yeah. But think about it. Who the fuck's coming up with 500 grand? Knowing full well that this village is so fucked, this particular example, that its only shop, post office and petrol station is shut in the last year. But let's front it was, I have no idea who this guy is, although apparently he's some Strictly winner called Hamza Yassin. Fair play to the guy, if he's going to rock the world and sort this out, fair play. But I just don't see it happening. And to just blame second homeowners, who, honestly, that never used to be a fucking issue in the 80s, or as far as I know, the 90s, yeah? Because these people, if they could afford a second house and were up there regularly, they were spending the money in the hotels and the local shops and all the rest of it. Seriously. Socialism always leads to communism, always leads to despotism, and all of it is masquerading as the righteous. You could absolutely resolve much of this. Absolutely. With some common sense things. It's deliberate and by design, and it's the slow strangulation of such stunning places and historically phenomenal places in Scotland. Such scenery, such great people, all the rest of it, and it's been strangled and choked by design.